Hello. Happy Team Tuesday, Scentsy training day. It's another Tuesday. It's another video. I don't know about you guys, but I am super excited about this week's topic because if you know me even a little, you know that this topic is close to my Scentsy heart and kind of my personal heart too, because it's just who I am. I'm Jacqui Duran. I am a Scentsy independent Scentsy Star consultant. I've been a consultant since January 2012. I've got a team of amazing people rocking it out. So shout out to my team tonight. We are halfway through the month, and it's only the 13th of October, but we are halfway to the fact that if things continue the way they're going, then I might promote this month to Superstar Consultant. That would be superstar fantastic if that happens. So I'm rooting my team on because they have opportunities to promote too. And I don't know if anybody else out there is paying attention, but hello, we have this Disney cruise or Disney trip, or a Nashville Scentsy family reunion that we can be earning right now. And so all the PRV, the people we're recruiting, our personal promotions, all of this is adding up into our trip points. Be still, my Scentsy heart. I earned my first, sorry if I'm a little congested. I've got a little bit of allergies going on tonight. I didn't want to take Flonase this close to bed, so I didn't take it. So I might be a little congested, so I'm just going to apologize now. I did earn my first Scentsy incentive trip. Last incentive period. So I did earn the trip to Cozumel in January. That is where the cruise part came in, because I'm still holding out hope that I get to go on the cruise to Cozumel. At my day job, we are going through this big electronic medical record changeover. So we are literally changing computer systems for all of our billing, and it's craziness. And so we get to build this program, which is fantastic. However, it's a lot of work and it takes a lot of training. So I'm going to be doing a lot of training for my staff and the rest of the staff throughout our department. So it just so happens that our end user training, it begins mid-December. It runs all the way through like mid to end of January, and then we go live February. And then that means obviously I have to be there for support too, and we go live. So I had lots of stuff going on there, but it just all fell right smack dab on top of the dates of the Cozumel cruise, which happens to be January 11th, 7th through the 11th, I think is what it is. So I'm still waiting on a training schedule to come out. As long as I can coordinate around my training schedule, where I need to be and what classes I need to be teaching, then I'm going to be able to make it happen. But obviously I'm also on a ticking clock with Scentsy. I have to get registered, so I'm a little stressed about this whole Cozumel thing. I'm trying to put it out of my head. I'm trying to put it out there into the universe and say, okay, if this is what's going to be meant to be for me to go to Cozumel and see the ocean for the first time and get to meet all these fantastic Scentsy people that I love and adore and have only talked to through social media, then that's what's going to happen. And if not, then it's not. And either way, I'm going to see them in Nashville, because either way, I will be going to the Scentsy family reunion in July 2016. So that's fine. But I'd really like to go to Cozumel. We'll see. Again, it's out of my hands. It's out of my hands. I can't control any of it. So why am I going to stress about it? If you can't control it, don't stress about it. So, welcome. You guys know, if you follow along at all, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Google+, whether it's on Facebook, I do these weekly trainings every single week. I've been doing them since January, the very first week of January 2015. I started this whole series. And here we are. October 13th. Here we are, end of October. And I have done every single week. There's been a couple of weeks. Actually, I think there was 1 week I did miss because we had a team meeting and I went to that and I didn't end up redoing it later that week. But there was a couple other weeks I had some technical difficulties. I don't know if any of you out there ever have technical difficulties with our devices, but I did. And so what I did is I had to postpone it until like the next day. But for all general purposes, I come to you every single Tuesday night at 9:15 Central Standard Time. And I do a different topic each week. This week's topic happens to be social media and your Scentsy business. So again, that's why I say this week's topic is near and dear and close to my heart, and something that truly I put a lot of time and effort into. I really, really do, because this is how I have grown my business. And it is probably one of the most asked things I get questions about. So those of you who submit questions to me, you guys know this is normally what the questions come up as. Has something to do with social media. And so I try and get those questions answered as quickly as I can for you all. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. I love it. I love getting to meet all of you guys. And, you know, I always say when I get to hear from consultants who have just started and they're starting their journey, just like with my own personal team members, I love it. It's like restarting Scentsy all over again for me. And it's a magical thing because it's getting to be a part of the beginning of their journey. And this journey with Scentsy has been, I think there's an infographic, and I think I posted it. I know I posted it in my personal team page, Facebook page, but I think I posted it on my page as well, or my Facebook fan page, or Instagram or something. I don't know. It's probably posted somewhere. And you've probably seen it a million times, but where it shows that arrow and it says success. We all think it looks like this straight line, and it's really like all these wiggly until we get there. That's been my Scentsy journey. And so I'm in the middle of the squiggly lines, but I have every confidence in myself to know that I will get there. I will get there. So if Superstar Consultant happens this month, rock on. If it doesn't happen this month, that's okay. It's coming. It's coming. I know it's coming, and it's going to happen. So for me, who started this thing out as a hobby and as a, hey, what the heck, I'll give it a try, to now, guys, you never know what this journey is going to bring you. So that's why I get so excited when I get to talk to you guys who are just starting. And I'm always telling you, you know, congrats on your business. I'm so excited for your journey. I can't wait to hear more about it, because I really can't. I love getting to hear your guys' stories as you move along your journey too, because either I personally have been through them or I have team members who have been through them, or I have friends who have been through them. But I can say wholeheartedly, 100%, I have met the most amazing and supportive people through Scentsy. And without that, I probably would have quit a long time ago. So I owe a lot of my Scentsy journey to all of them. They all share a part in it. And those of you who follow along with me today in all of these videos, a part of it is contributed to you too, because you guys, with your kind words, you motivate and you inspire, and I hope to motivate and inspire all of you. So that's why I do these, is to give those tips, the things that I'm working on, and you know, I will always be the first one to say I am by no means the black belt in Scentsy. I will never have all the answers. I never expect anyone to have all the answers, but I can guarantee you if I don't know the answer, I'm either going to ask and find out, or I will keep on going up the Scentsy train to figure out where I can get that answer for you, or try and point you in the direction of how to get to that answer. So we don't have to have all the answers to get through this business, but just knowing where we need to go and where our resources are is key. So that's the takeaway for all of that. Of course, this is not a Scentsy corporate training by any means, hence the reason I'm not in this glorious office with fancy lighting and makeup artists and things like that. This is me. This is me in my home office. You might see the light changing behind me. That is my lovely Scentsy diffuser. I'm actually waiting on my replacement shell to come in. But until then, I will say, if you guys have not yet tried the diffuser, this is my first time. Sorry, lovely allergies. My first time experiencing oils and really dealing with oils, and I adore them. My husband, my 14-year-old son, on was it Saturday, I think it was, maybe it was Friday, I don't know. His dad brought him over, and we were sitting there talking about our weekend, what we were going to do and all this and stuff like that, planning out dinner. And I was like, oh, hold on. Go look in our bedroom and go tell me what you see. So he comes in and he takes a look, and I had it diffusing the oil, and he looks in, and all I hear is, Mom, I want one of these. And my son is, he's kind of a geeky, techie, gadgety guy, like I am, and like my husband is. He's into gadgets too, and so we enjoy that kind of stuff. But it was really funny because my son loves the Scentsy scents. He likes to smell them. But the only warmer he has ever really truly wanted has been the Kansas Jayhawks warmer. You know, he'll see them, you know, and obviously, you know, around the house and stuff like that. He'll be like, oh, that one's cool, because, you know, I change mine out every so often. But for him to tell me and be so insistent about the diffuser, he was like, Mom, I want one of these for my birthday. So how much is that going to cost me? Honey, you're too young to host for me. So let Mama do some magic. Let me see what I can do for you. And maybe for Christmas, Santa will bring you a Scentsy diffuser. So it was just really funny that out of all the years and all the warmers he's seen, and, you know, everything that he sees that I do with my business, it was the diffuser that he was just dead set. I will have it. My 14-year-old son. So there you go. There's your PSA for the day. All right, so let's jump into this, guys, because we got a lot to cover. And like I've made a promise, I probably am not going to touch on all of it tonight. I do hope to try and touch on some of the key points. Oh, these allergies. I hope to try and touch on some of the key points. It also does not help that I have literally been presenting all day since 9 o'clock this morning. So I think that my body, my voice, and my allergies are just like shutting down at this point. They're like, that's it. I give up. Call it a night, Jacqui. Let's go. So tonight is probably going to be the first in a couple series. And we are going to be talking about social media and our Scentsy business. Like I said, for those of you who know me, social media is huge, and it is truly how I have built my business. I will tell you that when I first started Scentsy, I was told that unless I did home parties, unless I did events, I was not going to be successful in this. And I wasn't, because I could not get home parties to save my life. I just did not have customers who had time for them. They weren't truly that interested in doing a home party. They liked the products and all of that, but the hassle of doing a home party and inviting people. And then, I had a couple home parties and they, some of them bust, which they do. So don't get down on yourself when that happens. It happens. I did a couple events and I had success at one event. Other than that, the rest of them, I was just not that kind of girl. It didn't work for me, or at least those at that time did not work for me. And so I was just told over and over again, this probably isn't for you. This probably is not going to give you success because, we're in a business where you do home parties. And if you can't do those, you can't find the customers who are going to do those, probably not going to go very far. So I got discouraged quickly. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, I really like Scentsy, and yeah, I love it, and I really want to do this, and I really want to make something of this, but I didn't have any clue how to do that. And so I reached out on social media, and I started doing YouTube searches and Google searches, and I found some amazing women out there, and you guys have probably found them too, or they're part of your team. Christina Stainbrook and Katie Farner, and Kimberly Pulito, and I'm probably totally mispronouncing her name because it's Kim to me in my head. But these women totally inspired me because they got me. They understood that I had the same frame of mind as they did, right? I was of the mind of, this is how I want to work my business. And they were thinking the same way. So I kind of would take ideas and mold them to me and try them out and see what is going to work for me, what is not going to work for me. And eventually, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Eventually, it finally all did come together. So over the years, maybe the last year and a half, I think, I have kind of refined my personal niche in Scentsy and how my business works for me and the way that it works so well for me and my lifestyle. I'm busy. I have that day job that just, it literally, it truly takes my day. And so, yes, there are certain times where there are slower days. And there might be times where I'm waiting for meetings to start, or my class attendees haven't shown up yet. I might have a few minutes to do something, but I don't have a whole lot of time to be able to have like Facebook pulled up and to go through and answer things and things like that. I just don't when I'm at work. So it was hard for me to find that balance of how am I going to work all of this in? And how am I going to make it work for me personally in my business? So tonight I wanted to share a story with you because I found it very poignant, because as I was talking about my agenda and what I was going to do for tonight. So I was watching I watch the nightly news every night with David Muir. And here I am watching the news, cooking dinner, and I've got the TV going in the living room, but I always kind of bump up the volume so I can hear it when I'm cooking. And so I hear it in the background, and I hear this story, and he kind of does this segue before the commercial of a girl on Periscope ends up getting arrested for a DUI. And it instantly caught my attention because I heard the word Periscope. And Periscope, if you guys are not yet familiar with Periscope, it is it's kind of a play or a spinoff of Twitter. It takes your Twitter handle. You still have to download another app. You know how they get you there, but it's free. You download Periscope. It's an app that you can find in the Apple Store or Google Play, wherever. You download it, and it links to your Twitter profile. What you can do with Periscope is you can actually broadcast live. So it's live web broadcasting, video broadcasting. Now, a lot of people will use it for major events or things like that. And I will say I've probably done 3 or maybe even 4 broadcasts total. That's probably about it. And that's simply because I don't feel like I've done or gone anywhere special enough to be like, oh my gosh, y'all need to see what I'm seeing right now. Yeah, maybe if I go to Cozumel, I'll be doing some more of those. But I'm not in Cozumel yet, so I don't feel like I'm like, what am I going to share with people? I don't know yet. I haven't quite figured out how am I going to share with people on there. But I watch a lot of Periscope, and I follow people on Periscope. So it caught my attention when I heard this. So I kind of pause the cooking, and I go in, wait for the commercial break, and I go into the living room, and I'm watching the story. And here's the story. So we have a girl who lives in Florida, and I did not catch her name. I don't even know if they released her name. I don't know. I didn't catch that part. But apparently what happened is she'd either gone out for the evening. I don't know if she was at a bar, a party, what have you. But she is intoxicated. She had been drinking at her party or wherever it was that she happened to be at. And she got the bright idea to get into the car and drive herself home. Now, obviously, I personally, on a personal level, have a lot of issues with that. First of all, the drunk driving. I have a very big issue with that. Second of all, using your phone when you're driving. I have a very big issue with that. So here you have this girl who is, and these were her words, I am drunk. Okay. I'm not trying to make anything up here. This was truly the story of the nightly news tonight. And she has her phone, and as she is driving intoxicated and telling everyone that she is intoxicated and driving. Yes, those were some, well, she may not have used the word intoxicating, but you knew what she was. But she had her phone, and she was literally, she had her app of Periscope pulled up, and she was periscoping while driving. Periscoping while driving. I want this to just sink in for a moment, okay? Periscope, gosh, I don't know if I can quickly even show you even a piece of it here. No one I'm following is live right now. Go figure. Periscope is an app. Gosh, you can't even see hardly any of it, can you? No, not at all. Anyway, it's an app. What you want to do when you want to actually start a broadcast, you can pull it up, and you'll see here, this little bar right here, if you can see it, it says start broadcast. And I can click that, and we'll start a broadcast, and it will basically make it public. Everything's public. And then, of course, anybody that follows you via Periscope through Twitter, because it's a division of Twitter, they will follow you, and they're able to join live and see exactly what you're seeing. You cannot comment back because you're talking, right? You're talking and you're walking, and you can change your view to where the camera is either forward facing, so it's you, or you can change it to your rear camera. So as you're walking around, you can show people what you're doing. She happened to be using both, right? She's toggling back and forth between the front view and the rear view. And she is driving intoxicated with her phone. I'm picturing this in my mind, right? Driving, periscoping, doing this, do that, talking all about how she is drunk, she's wasted. She is in Florida. She has no idea where she's at. She's driving in circles and, you know, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so people on Periscope started seeing this, whether they're her followers or just random people, and they are posting back and they're making comments, and they're, at first the comments are, this girl's totally faking it. She's such a fake. Oh my gosh, she's totally not even drunk. And then you start to see people are realizing, oh my gosh, I think she's truly intoxicated right now. And so you truly have some adults in the audience who are responding saying, please, for goodness sake, pull over, get out from behind the wheel. Do not drive right now. You need to stop driving. You could kill someone. You could cause a wreck, things like this. Some responsible person out there, thank you, takes it upon himself, and there may have been more, but they just focused on one person, actually called into 911. And they actually played a portion of the 911 call where he called in and he said, yes, I'm actually watching a video right now of a girl who is on Periscope, and she's saying how she is drunk and she is in Florida, but she's not quite sure where she's at. And, you know, he goes into detail, you know, she's just driving around and she's Periscoping. And I'm sure the poor 911 dispatcher had absolutely no idea what Periscope was, but is taking all the information down as she should, or he should have. And the responsible person who calls in gives them their Periscope, this girl's Periscope handle, which is basically your Twitter handle. So whatever at blah, blah, blah you are on Twitter, that's what you get on Periscope too. So he sends it to them, makes that, calls it in. The dispatcher radios it out to the patrol who is within the nearest vicinity. The patrol happens to be an officer and an intern, or an officer in training of some sort. And so none of them have any idea of even what Periscope is. They're like, what are we talking about Periscope? And the dispatcher is trying to explain it's an app. It's an app. And so the officer in training, she actually takes her phone out and she downloads Periscope right then and there. Downloads Periscope, creates her profile or transfers it over from Twitter. I'm sure she probably at least had a Twitter. And they had gotten the Periscope handle from the dispatcher, from the very responsible person who called 911, gave it to them. And so the police officer, the Florida police officer, is literally watching her on Periscope as she is driving around talking about how drunk she is. She doesn't know where she is. Should I turn up this street? I don't know. What do you guys think? As she's driving. And the officers are able to pinpoint where she is simply by looking, because she's got it rear facing. So they're looking at the landmarks behind her in the background. And they finally find her. And what do they do when they find her? They make their own video and they pull her out and they put her in handcuffs and they arrest her for drunken driving or DUI or whatever, you know, the official charge was. So this is officially the first DUI arrest via Periscope. Now, was that an impact on social media? Heck, yes, it was. For goodness sake, it made the nightly news. Okay, that's an impact. Wouldn't you be just like over the moon if you did a Periscope video about your Scentsy business or the sale that we're having or the warmer of the month, and the nightly news was like, oh my gosh, take a look at this business person who sold X amount of money today by using Periscope? That would be an amazing impact, right? Think of all the publicity you would get and the exposure you would get from people talking about your Periscope video on the nightly news, right? You went viral. That certainly was probably not her proudest moment. So when we talk about social media, we have to kind of keep all of this in perspective. How do we get the impact of that? The impact of being on the nightly news and all the exposure, and suddenly everybody's probably, I'm sure if they announced her Periscope profile or her Twitter profile, I'm sure she probably has a lot more followers now. How do we get that kind of an impact, but not the negative concept behind it? That is what we're aiming for, people. We are aiming for that high impact, but the positive side of that impact, right? We need to find the balance of how to do that. And I'm going to try and share with you probably over the next couple of weeks on how we can work on having that big of an impact, but being able to make it work in our favor for our businesses. Now, oh my goodness, these allergies. Maybe I should have done the Flonase. Wow. Okay. So we want to have that loud and proud statement of our social media footprint. In today's day and age, we truly have social media footprints. Whether you want to buy into that concept or not, it statistically is true, okay? We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Pinterest, we have YouTube, we have all of these different mediums, okay? And regardless of how private you make your settings, people can still see that you at least have a profile. And depending on how security settings change and things like that, they may or may not be able to link around to you eventually to see what you're doing on social media. And this is what I really push out. My 18-year-old, she's kind of, she doesn't do too much social media anymore. She's kind of past that phase right now in her life. But my 14-year-old is very involved in social media. He actually uses Twitch and YouTube for gaming. So he's very big into gaming. And he does some on YouTube, but it's mainly gearing more towards Twitch because that's kind of geared more around gaming, and that's what he does. But I have to talk to him on a fairly regular basis about his social media footprint, because here's the deal. At 14, I can't even imagine. Okay, let me put this into perspective. I can't even imagine being 14 and having the ability to, oh my gosh, I'm shuddering at the thought of like when I'm logging onto Facebook and it says, what are you thinking today? Or what are your thoughts today? How do you feel today? I was a 14-year-old Jacqui. OMG, I can only imagine what I would have written on any given day. That's scary to me, okay? Because in my 14-year-old head, I'm thinking, whatever. If I don't like it, I can delete it later. It's not a big deal. Let me just tell you guys what I tell my 14-year-old son. Even if you delete something, it is still recoverable. Maybe not by your next door neighbor, no. But someone, somewhere, can recover it. Things are recoverable when we put them out there. That's what I mean by your social media footprint. It's truly leaving a footprint out there in social media world, okay? There's, like I said, there's different mediums that we can focus on, and maybe we can, and I'm here to take suggestions too on how best you guys feel this would be easiest for you guys to absorb, learn, and we can talk about it and have discussions about it. If you think that maybe we should take one medium each week and talk about that specific one, or we should talk about concepts in general, marketing, using it as a marketing tool, using it as a recruiting tool, using it as a selling tool. You know, we can break it down tons of different ways, and I can make you a Visio matrix of how it should probably be, but that reminds me too much of my JOB, and I don't want to do that. So I am here for you guys. I'm here for you. So empower your voice, find your voice, and let me know what you think would be best. How would you learn the best? How would you get the most takeaways if we did this series over social media and what we can do to increase our sales and build our business using social media? So we've got different mediums we can use, right? Most of us are fairly familiar with Facebook. Most of us are probably fairly familiar with Twitter. Some of us may have blogs. You know, we've got blogs. We've got Blogger, which is owned by Google. We've got WordPress. Those are the two main ones that I'm aware of. And there's many, many, many other platforms for blogging out there. And that's part of my social media footprint as well as being a blogger. So I have a lot of connections through that. Pinterest, if you're anything like me, I'm a pinaholic officially. There's probably an anonymous group that I should be attending meetings at, but I don't because I don't have time to do so. Those are the main ones that we focus on more of posting, whether that's posting words, whether that's posting images or pictures, right? Those are the ones that we kind of all are pretty familiar with. However, we have this glorious form of social media in the form of video. Now, video is having a bigger and bigger and bigger impact on our day-to-day activities, okay? I'm not making this up. I can quote statistics to you all day long. There's a course I'm taking right now on YouTube videos of marketing. And it probably does not involve allergies. What are you going to do with a live video? You can't edit a live video. So video is having a bigger and bigger impact than we probably ever have seen. And it's probably only going to continue to increase. And I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes. But some of the different outlets that we have for video, we can always talk about our Florida girl and our Periscope experience. So we've got Periscope, which is live streaming video. We have YouTube. We've got Google Plus, which is what, if you're joining me live, how we're doing this right now, right? This is live streaming video. The really great thing that I do like about Google Plus is you can add people in. So if we wanted to have, 3, 4, 5 people or whatever all at a time to do different talking points, we could totally do that. And Google Plus is free. So there's some other great programs out there like Any Meeting. There's Any Meeting. There is, what's the other one I'm thinking of in my head? Wow. I just used it earlier today for a meeting I did. See this point in the night where my brain is just kind of like, that's where I'm at. Anyway, we've got different areas that we can go to. Now, one thing that I'm going to talk about with YouTube very briefly is we can talk about YouTube for a long time. But YouTube, you guys may or may not know this. YouTube, I was in fact talking to one of my team members yesterday about this. YouTube is actually owned by Google, right? It's a product of Google. I think that YouTube is having such a big impact with social media now simply because of the fact that when you were posting on YouTube, you are essentially linking everything with YouTube to Google. Now, there's many ways, and in fact, that's part of the course that I'm actually taking right now on YouTube marketing, of linking it to be able to get that higher ranking in terms of exposure. But did you know that if you go to Google, and many people, when you're searching for something, what do you normally do? You probably do one of two things, and maybe you're a divided household like we are. My husband, when he is looking for something, he uses Bing, and he uses Bing to look things up. When I'm looking for something, I Google it. And so what I want you guys to try and do, to just give yourself an example, is I want you to go to Google, and I want you to type in, I'm just trying to think of any keywords I can think of off the top of my head. And I was trying to think of what I was talking about with one of my teammates yesterday about, and I can't remember what it was now. But what I want you to do is I want you to go to Google and I want you to type in, let's do this. Let's do Scentsy business tips. That's what I want you to type in. Go to Google, Scentsy business tips. When you do that and you hit search or go or enter or whatever, along the top, it will say web, it will say images, and it will say video. I want you to click on the word video. And I want you to see what pops up just on the first page. I don't even want you to go to the second page. Look and see what pops up on the first page. When you do that, I want you guys to be able to see that by using Google, it's instantly pulling videos from YouTube that have those keywords in it. So whatever it is that you're looking for, I mean, I just gave you an example to look up. You can look up whatever you want. Type in whatever it is that you want for your keywords, and then hit that video button. It will pull videos from YouTube. Why? Because YouTube is owned by Google. Blogger, which is a very popular blogging website, it happens to be the website that I use, and I started it years ago, not having near as much of the social media knowledge that I have today. But I just happened to pick Blogger because it was an easy medium to learn. I picked it up very quickly. It was very user-friendly, and I liked it and whatever. But the same thing happens there. Blogger is owned by Google. So when you're doing searches, it's going to instantly pull from its affiliates, right? It's going to pull from those affiliates. So the audience that I was able to create from my blog, I didn't have any idea that I was pulling that audience. And when I first started my YouTube videos, I had no idea that by doing that, I was actually pulling audience from people who were doing Google searches. Do you see how we are having that high impact of reaching people without even realizing that we're having that impact to reach people? So think of what you can do with the power. Let's use our Florida gal as an example. If she had done that in a more positive way, she would probably be getting accolades right now. Maybe she could have done a whole Periscope on how not to drink and drive, and maybe she would have been in the passenger seat and she had her designated driver there and she was periscoping the whole thing, talking about, hey, I found myself a designated driver and he's driving me home and this is great, blah blah blah. Maybe that could have done a complete different spin. Do you see how that did a complete 180 turn on her story? It then became a story about how you should not drink and drive and how you should do it responsibly, versus I'm drinking and driving and I'm showing you how I'm doing it. That was very negative, wasn't it? Very negative. Sure, her parents are not happy with her. And again, I'm sure that was probably not her proudest moment. And unfortunately, it's a social media footprint that she's not going to be able to get rid of. And I will tell you from more of a professional outlook that more and more employers today are looking at that social media footprint. Okay. LinkedIn is a great example, because people can put things on there. I've seen people who will link their Facebook, they will link their Twitter, they will link things like this and not even think of the things that they're posting on those websites, on Twitter or Facebook or wherever, that they've listed, that may or may not shine them in the brightest of light. It's kind of like that 6 degrees of separation. Yeah, I'm posting over here on Twitter. Nobody knows what I'm doing on Twitter over here, only just my Twitter followers. No. Because when you're posting on Twitter, but yet you've also got your LinkedIn account connected to your Twitter, and now you're on Periscope, all of that is now connected. So however it is that people are following you, whether it's on Twitter or Periscope or LinkedIn, Eventually, if they want to, they can click around until they get to your Twitter profile and see how you tweeted about how, oh my gosh, I got so drunk the other night and it was just so embarrassing and I fell down the stairs and blah, 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 blah. And some potential employer is looking at your LinkedIn profile and just happened to click on your Twitter profile and see and read this wonderful post about how you were drunk the other night and fell down the stairs. Do you think that's making a good impression for your potential employer? I can tell you from experience, if I saw that, and I do when I do interviews with my candidates, I do not hire people like that. Most people will not either. So please be mindful of your social media imprint and the footprint that you're leaving behind of you and who you are. That is why my motto is be you, be authentic, be you. Don't try and be fake, and just think about what it is you're posting. Like I said, how I explained it to my 14-year-old son is when you're 25 and you're looking back, because these things aren't going away, when you look back, are you going to be proud of that post that you put out there, or that video that you shared that you thought was cool today? But truly, is it really leaving that great of an impression? What do people think if they were looking at that? What would they think of you? How would their impression change if they saw you doing that? It's just something to think about. Food for thought tonight. So when we're on social media, regardless of what medium it is that you're focusing on, when you're doing it for business, you have to have a driver. So you have to be able to drive. The whole point of marketing your business, whether it's to recruit, to sell, or to recruit, to sell, or to market your business and your brand as a whole, you're driving them to a specific source. Now, hopefully with you and your Scentsy business, because that's what we're focusing on, is you're driving them back to your Scentsy website. So what do I mean by driving? Okay, it's not the Florida girl. We're not the Florida girl on Periscope. Okay, we are driving people. So when I get on Pinterest and I pin a picture and I put my description in, I'll probably put a couple keywords in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put my website on there. The picture may or may not have my website on it too. And then what I'm going to do is behind the scenes, I'm going to edit it. So when people click on that pen, it's actually going to take them to my Scentsy, official Scentsy website. What am I doing? I am driving people there. When you post on Facebook, and maybe today you guys are a consultant, and you guys kind of know some of the things that we've got going on, right? We've got our harvest collection with our holiday items going on right now. We've got our holiday collection with all of our holiday gifts in it. And we have our monthly special promotion going on with all of our different sports flyers, and our Toffee Butter Crunch as our amazing scent of the month. Ba-bam. It's going to make you hungry as soon as you smell it. But we're on Facebook, and maybe we're shouting out about, here's my little hometown pride shouting out at you. My lovely Kansas City Royals, my boys in blue. And I want to say, hey guys, if you want to support the boys in blue and show your pride for your team, let's show them off with a home run baseball warmer, right? That's a great way to do it. Let's remember this season by buying this warmer and putting it up and being able to sit back and remember we were the division champions again. It's a great way, right? So I'm going to make that post. And what am I going to do on that post? I'm going to put in a link to my website. I'm driving people to my website. I'm driving them there because I'm literally taking them down the path of, look at the home run warmer. This is where I want you to go to get it. You're going to drive down this street and you're going to land at my Scentsy website. And that's where you're going to be able to get it. I'm driving them to my website to buy it from there. So putting those key drivers in by using those, the keywords, okay, whether that's by using a hashtag or in YouTube videos, it's by using keywords. You're able to drive them. You're able to pull that audience in. And once you've pulled them in, where do you want them to go? You want them to either buy your product or join your team, right? So you drive them to your website. Here, go here. This is where I want you to go. Okay? If you're driving just customers in general, maybe for you, you just want to be able to spread your name out there a little bit more, right? You can either drive them to your Scentsy official website. Maybe you have a Facebook fan page and you want to drive them there. I get the questions about that a lot because on my Pinterest, it kind of depends on what picture I'm posting. So depending on the image that I'm posting, sometimes it's just something fun. Sometimes it's a corporate approved flyer that I'm using or a resource that I'm using. And so for certain things, depending on how I'm posting it and how I'm presenting it, I might want to drive them to my Scentsy website, or if I just want them to start following me so I can build that customer base and that relationship with those customers, I want to drive them to my Facebook fan page, because by driving them to my Facebook fan page, I'm able to, again, be able to start building that customer relationship with them. And what happens, we talked about this last week and a little bit the week before, possibly too. When we're building that customer relationship, we're building that customer relationship to last us, okay? That relationship is going to create a lot more than if we just said, hey, go buy this from me because I think you should, because I'm awesome, and you should go to my website and go buy this. And then maybe you never end up talking to them again. Maybe you end up still doing a follow-up with them like 2 weeks later. Hey, hope that you really, and by this time, maybe you only have their email address. And so you're able to email them and say, hey, thank you so much for ordering the home run warmer and supporting the boys in blue. I knew you were a Royals fan, so I'm so excited for that. And aren't you excited that they won the division? See me throwing that out there. Shameless plug for the Royals. And so, they may or may not ever even respond to my email. So what happens? Yeah, I got a sale. That was great. But did I really retain a customer? No, because I didn't build a customer relationship. I didn't build a relationship by them just going and visit my website. When people visit my website, I don't want them just visiting my website. Again, yes, a sale is great today, but next month when I want to book some parties, or I want to do some follow-up, or I want to see if they're interested in joining my team, I don't have that relationship to be able to build on. You have to have a foundation to build upon with anything, right? That foundation has to be built on authenticity. It has to be built on you being an authentic person and being you, and being able to have that relationship with that customer or with that host or whoever it is that you're working with. Because when you have that solid foundation built, what happens? You can stack on top of that foundation. That person's either going to become a host again for you, or they might just become a good returning customer for you. I have a customer today, Brooke, who has been an amazing customer for me. She lives out in Washington, and goodness gracious, I hope to be able to meet her in person one day. But we have an awesome relationship built just solely on social media. And she's been involved in the customer loyalty program. And so tonight she checked on it, and she was actually able to find out that she had a half-price reward waiting for her to take, just for being a loyal customer. She's not interested in joining, although I would love it if she did, but she's not quite interested in joining, but she's that consistent customer. And because we have built that great foundation, she is the one who comes to me when she hears other things on Scentsy. Oh, hey, I saw that there was this going on because somebody else posted it on their page. I saw this was going on. Is this truly going on? What's the deal with this? I need more information about it. I just saw this on somebody else's page. And so I become her source of truth because that foundation has been built and is there. If that foundation was not there, then she would have gone to whoever it was that she saw and posted that on Facebook or Pinterest or wherever it was that she saw it, And she would probably just, again, be that one-stop shop of she'd go to their website because she was driven there by their post or whatever, go to their website, buy what she wanted, and be done, right? But she wouldn't have all that customer loyalty, and she wouldn't get to be involved in, you know, getting my samples and my mail outs and my fun stuff and, you know, all of the goodies that come along with having that foundation of that customer base. Does that make sense? Hopefully, kind of. So that's kind of where we started tonight. So we officially tonight have kind of built our own foundation tonight, okay? We are going to continue this conversation. So again, what I would really, really, really love from you guys is to give me some feedback on how you would love to see this structure built. Would you like to see me do more of, we're going to focus on this social media piece? Like maybe we're going to focus on Facebook one week. Maybe next week we're going to focus on Pinterest. Maybe the week after that, we're going to focus a little bit on Twitter. Maybe a little bit after that, we're going to focus more on YouTube. Would you like to see it broken down like that? Or would you like to see it broken down more of, I want to see how I can recruit using social media. So can you show me that? So go ahead and give me some shout out. Avoid and pretend that I'm not congested and my allergies are not here and causing me an issue. But I want you to show me some love down below. I want you to put those comments in. What do you want? I'm putting the power in your hands, people. The power is with you. You have the power. You have the power to tell me how you feel that you can get the most out of this, what I'm trying to give to you. So again, I do not have all the answers. I will never have all the answers. But I can share with you the tips that I have learned along the way, what works for me, what hasn't worked for me, and maybe why it hasn't worked for me. And we can have that conversation and dialogue about why it hasn't worked and maybe be able to turn that around and see, are there better ways that we can make that work? We can all improve our businesses in so many different ways, and social media is an amazing way to be able to have that power to do it. Because you know why? I'm a very, very busy girl during the week and during my job. So I cannot be in all places at all times. I just physically cannot. And so I rely on social media, just like I've talked to you guys before. When I talk about my bag parties and things like that, my pouch parties, my mini testers are my employees. These guys go out and do work for me when I'm not able to be there, right? Social media is the same thing. Social media and the means that I use it for are my employees. They're out there working for me 24/7. Do you know my YouTube videos are working for me 24/7? That's creating Google searches that are working for me 24/7. Okay? I don't have to babysit them. I don't have to update them. They are there. My social footprints are being left. Okay? And it's helping me create a wider business. And I want that to be able to do the same for you guys as well. So that's what this video series is going to be about. So again, I need your input though. I need you guys to buy in. Are you guys interested? Does this interest you at all about trying to build your business online and with social media? If so, I need to know. You need to be clicking like, you need to be sharing, you need to be commenting, you need to be telling me, because otherwise I'm not going to think that you guys are interested, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to a different topic, because I've got lots of topics still in the hat ready to come out and talk to you about Scentsy and our business, because we're still doing these every single week, guys. So I've got lots of stuff to choose from, and we can move on to something else if this isn't going to help you or if this isn't going to work for you. But I need to know. I need to know what you want to hear about and what best would work for you and how I can be a better resource for you. So that's what I've got for you this week. That's where I'm going to leave you until we meet again next week, more than likely. Peace, love, happiness. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy it. It's beautiful fall weather here in Kansas City, so I am totally in my comfort zone because fall is my favorite time of year. So get out there, enjoy you and yours and your family and the beautiful weather that I hope you guys are having as well. I'll talk to you soon.